Guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today we're going to look at DarkKnightmon and BT22. We got some new support technically with the Rie and LordKnightmon, and I do want to preface by saying I am not a great DarkKnightmon player. I know Digicross is a little bit tricky for me, but this is what I enjoy, this is what I've been playing, and it's what's been working for me. So if you are a Dark Knight player and you have any suggestions or feedback, I would love to hear it in the comments. But with that said, let's move right along. For our eggs, I'm on 5 eggs, 1 copy of Pokemon from BT6 on deletion, reveal top card. If it's a black Digimon, add it to your hand, otherwise it goes bottom deck. Good way to put cards in your hand, alongside 4 copies of the promo Monitamon. On deletion, if you have a black tamer, draw 1. We should always have black tamers on the board, so this is really just on deletion, draw 1, and we do want lots of cards. Finding our pieces is going to be really important because we're going to be digicrossing a lot from hand and trash, and we want to make sure that we have the pieces in our hand to digicross with. We're going to run 4 copies of the BT10 Monitamon. On play reveal top 4, add 2 cards that are either black with Knightmon or DeadlyAxemon in their names, or with the Twilight in their traits among them to the hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. I made sure to go full Twilight core with this, so you should be able to hit basically everything in your deck with this on play search. We're going to run 4 copies of the BT19 Monitamon as well. Has a reboot inheritable, which is really nice. And on deletion, reveal top 3. Add a card with Knightmon in its text or the Twilight trait to the hand, and place 1 such card under your tamers. Return to the rest to the bottom of the deck. This does wonders for us, being able to put this on top of a Monitamon. If we have a tamer in play, we can swing this in. On deletion, we're going to get to draw 1 off the black tamer. We're going to get to reveal top 3, add a card to our hand, and then also tuck a source material underneath one of our tamers so that we can actually digicross with that later. So fantastic, definitely a 4 of. And I'm going to run 3 copies of BT16 Ukkomon. When one of your Digimon promotes, you get to reveal top 3, add a Digimon or Tamer to the hand. The rest go bottom, hatch an egg. Great for tempo, especially with this on deletion draw 1 trigger on the Monimon. And it is going to find us our Tamers, which I think is really important in this deck. Moving on to the level 4s. It's going to be level 4 soup here because we are Digicross. I'm on 3 copies of the SkullKnightmon Mighty Axe mode. This is treated as SkullKnightmon and DeadlyAxemon, which is fantastic for the Digicrossing. On play, reveal top 3 of your deck. Add a card with Knightmon in its name, 1 DeadlyAxemon, or 1 Nene among them to your hand. Trash the rest. Then if Digicrossing with 2 cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with they play cost 4 or less. I really like this for a couple of reasons. One, it finds you basically any piece you could ask for. Finding Nene is really important because we wanted that blocker on the Nene. Being able to Digicross in order to get rid of something that is potentially a Digicross floodgate is really good. And even if they have a Digicross floodgate on the board, we can plop this down for 4. It's not the end of the world. And then we're still technically allowed to Digicross even if we pay the 4, and we can pop something that is 4 cost or less, which should be our floodgate. So effectively what I'm trying to say here is that this gets rid of floodgates for a cheap cost, which I like. 3 copies of EX4 DeadlyAxemon here on play. By trashing 1 card with Blue Flare or Twilight trait, draw 2. Just generic draw feels great, especially because, like I said, we need materials in our hand to Digicross with. And then on deletion, reveal top card. If it has the Blue Flare or Twilight trait, add it to your hand and trash the rest. Should be just about everything aside from our new LordKnightmon stuff. The inheritable here also gives us 1 KDP, which is a nice little bonus. I'm on 3 copies of the BT19 SkullKnightmon. Has blocker, on deletion save, and a blocker inherit. Feels great to have that blocker inherit when we don't actually have the Nene on board, making sure that we can block with our DarkKnightmons and our LordKnightmons. 3 copies of DeadlyAxemon from BT19. This has retail, on deletion save, and a reboot inheritable. What's really nice about this one is when we do have Nene on board, this is a retail blocker, which forces the opponent to trade down into the DeadlyAxemon if they don't have a way to get rid of it. And that can feel really nice for us because we're going to play a little bit of a grindy game with this deck. We're not going to be getting in there especially fast, and this is a good way to curb the opponent's aggro with what we've got. I am on 4 copies of the promo SkullKnightmon. Yes, I know it's expensive, but it really does quite a bit for the deck. On deletion, play a tamer card with Amano in its name from your hand or trash without paying the cost, and then save. So it does kind of everything we want here. Gets us a Nene for free, and then saves a material on deletion. And SkullKnightmon inheritable is when this Digimon with the Bagra Army or Twilight trait and is level 5 or higher, this Digimon gains security attack +1. So our DarkKnightmons here can get security attack +1 and swing in for 2 checks, which feels really, really nice. On to the level 5s here. I'm on 3 copies of BT10 DarkKnightmon. On play, de-digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon, and then if Digicrossing with 2 cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. Another good little small body disruption here. All turns when this Digimon would be deleted by returning a level 4 or lower black Digimon card from this Digimon sources to its owner's hand. You may play 1 SkullKnightmon or DeadlyAxemon for this Digimon's sources without paying its cost. That is a really, really fantastic effect, especially with the BT19 DeadlyAxemon. We can return the SkullKnightmon to our hand, plop down the DeadlyAxemon. We have a retail blocker if the Nene is in play, and that is further way to disrupt our opponent and force them to deal with what we have on board. Also, if you don't know, DarkKnightmon's going to Digicross from SkullKnightmon, DeadlyAxemon, reduce the cost by 4, so it's going to be 4 to hard slam, effectively. we're going to run 4 copies of the BT19 DarkKnightmon, material save 1 on play when digivolving, de-digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon. Then if digicrossing with 2 cards, you may delete 1 play cost 3 or lower Digimon or Tamer. Feels really nice to have the Tamer hate in this deck. There's a lot of Tamer dependent decks right now, and being able to just crack one of those is fantastic. On deletion, you may play a level 4 or lower Digimon card with Knightmon in its text from under your Tamers without paying the cost. So we do care about the material save because we want to be able to play something with Knightmon in its text from under our Tamers. That can be the SkullKnightmon here or this SkullKnightmon here. Point being, we get to float back a body on deletion, and that feels great. The inheritable is to play a level 4 or lower Digimon card with the Knightmon in its text from your trash without paying the cost. So a little bit of a different target there. But if you have something in trash or you have something under the Tamer, this is going to be fantastic. On to the level 6s, 1 copy of the DarkKnightmon X-Antibody. Evos on DarkKnightmon for 4. When digivolving, return a black or purple Digimon card other than DarkKnightmon X from trash to hand. Then if DarkKnightmon or X-Antibodies in this Digimon sources delete a Tamer and unsuspend this Digimon. Feels really good to get the 2 checks off a DarkKnightmon and then be able to digivolve into this, pop a Tamer, unsuspend. You can pop your own Nene to gain 2 memory back, or you can pop an opponent's Tamer if you really need to. On deletion, you can play a DarkKnightmon from your trash without paying its play cost. That is also a fantastic effect because these DarkKnightmons have de-digivolve 1. We can keep our opponent's board small and hopefully in deletion range of our deletion effects. We're going to run 3 copies of the new LordKnightmon from BT22. Has Raid Reboot on play when digivolving. One of your Digimon gets plus 3k DP until your opponent's turn ends. Then one of your Digimon may attack a player. All turns when Digimon attack players, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play 1 play cost 4 or lower black or red card among them without paying the cost. Trash the rest. That's going to be fantastic for basically all of our level 4s here. They are all 4 costs. We can also play the Monitamons, but really we want to be playing these level 4s off of this when attacking trigger. So that is going to be fantastic for this. Also, we can theoretically give the 3k DP to one of our Digimon, so it doesn't have to be LordKnightmon. We can give the 3k to DarkKnightmon and then let it attack with that sec +1 from the SkullKnightmon underneath it. A really safe way to get your DarkKnightmon in there for 2 checks. We are going to run the 1 copy of BT18 LordKnightmon Ace. I don't love this card, but it does do quite a bit sometimes. When digivolving, you play a level 5 or lower Digimon card with Knightmon in its text from your hand or trash without paying the cost. So we're going to play DarkKnightmon, which is going to de-digivolve something on play in a perfect world. All Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon gain collision. So your opponent swings in with a level 6. You play the DarkKnightmon that de-digivolves to level 6. It becomes a level 5, has collision, lets you block, and then your opponent loses the body for their troubles. That is the goal with this card. It's a little bit awkward sometimes if you can't actually make something small enough to force it to crash, and giving your opponent collision on everything is kind of... It can be a little bit tricky sometimes. So I'm on 1 copy. It has its uses, but I really prefer this BT22 LordKnightmon. 2 copies of the LordKnightmon X-Antibody. Has collision piercing for each of your Digimon. De-digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon. And then until the end of their turn, one of their Digimon can't digivolve. While LordKnightmon or X-Antibody is in this Digimon sources, all of your Digimon with Knightmon in their text gain Alliance and 3k DP. More aggro for the deck, getting in for a lot of damage and stopping your opponent from doing things with that de-digivolve and stopping them from evoing. Just a really great card to go on top of our LordKnightmon core. I'm running 1 copy of Immortal Ruler. If you have Nene in play, you can use this card without meeting its color requirements. Trash top 3, play a DarkKnightmon from your trash for its play cost. If you have a Digimon card with Digicross requirements, by this effect, you may also place cards from your trash for the Digicross. You can totally replace this with a copy of X-Antibody. I would probably go Protoform if you want to, because that's going to enable this LordKnightmon X to be live all of the time. But I found Immortal Ruler was a little bit clutch sometimes, so I prefer it. On to Tamers here, a lot of them. 3 copies of BT10 Nene Amano on play reveal top 4. Add a card with Knightmon or DeadlyAxemon in its name or Twilight in its traits among them to hand. The rest go bottom deck. On opponent's turn, all your Digimon with DarkKnightmon in their names or Twilight gain blocker, and then on deletion gain 2 memory. That's going to be really, really fun with some of the shenanigans we have going on later. You can pop this with the DarkKnightmon X to gain 2 memory, and we have some other effects here that are going to be really interesting. 2 copies of the BT19 Nene Amano. Start of your main phase. If you have 2 or less memory, set it to 3. And when any of your composite or Twilight trait Digimon cards with Digicross requirements would be played, you can suspend this Tamer. 1 card under your Tamers and 1 card in your trash can be placed for Digicross. This is going to enable us to use our saved materials and our sources in the trash. Alongside being a memory setter, it's getting us lots of value. We have 2 copies of the new Rie. Start of your main phase. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain 1 memory. I really like that effect because we are no longer just kind of dealing with 3 memory and then maybe a conditional +1 memory. We are definitely going to be playing with the bonus memory on this card. Usually effects that say if your opponent has a Digimon go off like all the time. Your opponents rarely don't have Digimon these days unless you're winning really, really hard, and then you're winning really, really hard. So End of your turn, though, once per turn, by deleting one of your other Digimon or Tamers with Knightmon in their text or the CS trait, this Digimon may evo into a LordKnightmon in the hand with the cost reduced by 3. So that is going to be really, really fantastic, especially with this Nene Amano. It does have Knightmon in its text. It gains 2 memory on deletion, so you're actually reducing the cost by 5, theoretically, to evo off of the Rie here. LordKnightmon, if you don't know, can digivolve on top of a Rie if you have 3 or fewer security cards for a cost of 5. So Rie would reduce the cost by 3, allow you to evo for 2, and then the Nene Amano is actually going to gain you 2 memory back, which makes it a free evo. And then with the when digivolving, you could potentially get into all kinds of different shenanigans there. But this is an end of your turn trigger anyway, so it's not like you're going to steal the turn back unless you manage to get rid of an ace on the opponent's board. It's just kind of setting you up for a great board, and then LordKnightmon does actually enable you to attack a player when it digivolves, so you do get a little bit of value there. Moving on, 1 copy of Kiriha and Nene. This card is also treated as Kiriha and Nene. Start of your main phase, if you have 2 or more Digimon in play, you gain a memory. I like that effect a lot less than our Rie effect. I feel like it's a little bit more conditional, but all turns when you would play a Digimon card with the Blue Flare or Twilight trait with Digicross requirements, by suspending this Tamer, you can place 1 card from under your Tamers and 1 card from your trash as Digivolution cards for a Digicross. This is just another way for us to get that Digicross requirements solved, being able to place things from Tamers and from trash. I don't really like going 3 on the memory setters because it's just limited value, but this has the potential to gain us a memory while enabling us to use that Digicross material from underneath Tamers and from the trash. So the 1 copy is sufficient. Having 3 ways to get cross materials from our sources or from trash is plenty, in my opinion. So that is what I'm doing with DarkKnightmon in BT22. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have you tried playing this deck with the new support, or are you just sticking purely to the DarkKnightmon, not bothering with LordKnightmon? Let me know, though. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Thank you to our channel members for supporting this channel. It's people like Langlong, Big Z11, Coffee Deus, and DigiDane who make videos like this possible.